right? In the previous session, which we have discussed about of the enterprise structure, and now we are going to discuss about of the material master record. That means simply in generally we are calling this as an MMR. What is an MMR in the sense of it was a name material master record. And in before of starting this material master record, let me discuss about of the some of the technical issues. Some of the technical issues. So, in generally, whatever the materials which we have created, and those of the materials, those of the materials can be stored, or those of the materials has to be stored in a table. That means the database table of material master record is MARA. MARA. That means whatever the materials the user or the consultant has been created, those materials can be stored in the back end of the table name as been mentioned as a name MARA. Even you want to check which of the fields has been available in the table of the MARA, which we can use the condition or which we can use the transaction code that is called as a data dictionary. That was the data dictionary which is used by the transaction code of the SC11. Now first of all let us check the SC11 here. In SC11 the table of MARA. The table name itself MARA. From here let's see SC11 and the table name itself it is a name MARA and display. That means when creation of a material master, in generally we are having all these of the fields like client number, material number, division created on person who is created, and all the fields will be there for creation of a material master. For creation of a material master. And even you want to check with your database how many of the materials will be available or what are the material numbers which are already the system consists. For that which we are calling as an ABAP dictionary is for the creation of a table or changing of the table or something whatever the definition is. And the next one will be the data browser. Data browser. So what is a data browser in the sense of to browse the records from the database table which we are using the SE16 data browsers. That means from here if I can go for the SE16 and give the table name of MARA and enter and then execute whatever the materials which we are having under the table of MARA, everything we will get from it. All the materials. What is the table? That means the back end of the material master is an MARA and the back end material details or whatever the records which we are having, we want to get the data, we can use the transaction code of 16. From there we can get the details of the material master. And now what we are discussing in MMR is simply we can, what is a material? Simply let's see that material master record. What was a material master record? So what is exactly by the material master record in the sense of it is a set of information of a material. It is a set of information of a material. Whatever the material, if a company can make the sales and purchase, the company making of any sales or any purchases, which is called as a material, and that material can be handled by the material master record. All the details of the materials can be handled by the material master record. And the second step which we have to know about of the material type. What was the material type? That means, what do you mean by the material type? So the material type is nothing but like a same a number of same attributes can be grouped in together in a material type. Grouped in together in a material type. Like which we can simply call this as a material type in the sense of it is nothing but like a raw material, one type of the material. Semi-finished, one type of the material. Chemicals, one type of the material. And all those things which we can call as a material type. And now, first of all, I want to create a material type. Because there was a number of the material types will be there. Even if you want to create the material, different type of the material, like packing material or a chemical material, or else it was a semi-finished material, or else it was a finished material. As like as if you want to create your own material also you can. And as well as a number of material types will be available on SAP by default. This is the material type. The material type, the SAP system which is consists already, and the name of the material type. And the name of the material type. Let's see the first one, which we can call as a DIEN. This is one type of the material. This will be used for the services. And the second one is an ERSE. This was a spare parts. And the third one, FERT. That was a finished product. And as well as like is in a lot of the material types will be there. As like is in the finished products, or else FHM1 MI, production resource, or else which we can call as tools. Production resources or the tools. Or else FRIP means perishables. Perishables in the sense of these are the special types of the products. Let's take an example of the meat, fish, vegetables, or the ginger, garlic. That means that can be stored up to that much of the temperature only, or else that much of the days only. Whenever it will be processed, it will be damages. And as well as HALB, that is called as a semi-finished product. Semi-finished product. And as well as HAWA, HAWA, third-party materials, which we can call as trading goods. Trading goods. That means the material physically we are not having, but we are making the sale of that one. And as well as HERS, which we are calling as manufactured parts. That means we are manufacturing a spare parts. Manufactured parts. And the next one is KM80. KM80, which is called as a configurable material. That means assembled materials, which we can call it as in generally, which we are calling as BOM also here. Configurable materials. And as well as LEIH. LEIH. These are the returnables. Returnable packing material. Not the packing material, it was a returnable packing material. And NLAZ. It's called as a non-stock material. Physically, the material will not be shown in any way. Those are the things which we can call as a non-stock material. And as well as PAPE. These are the pipeline mandate. Pipeline materials. In generally, this will be using in the IS oil and gas. In this is oil and gas. Regularly, we are using this pipelines and all the other things. And as well as ROH. ROH in the sense of nothing but again raw material. Nothing but again raw material. And some of the things UNBW. These are the non-valued materials, like that is a free goods, or else pamphlets or brochures, which is having any non-valued materials. There is nothing will be there for the value. Non-valued materials. And VERP. This is also one type of the material which is called as a packing material. So as like as we are having a number of the different types of the material types which is already available in SAP. Even if the client asking to create some more, including with this, I need some more, then we can create our own material types also. That can be also possible. So that means that's why here the first step which we are calling as a creation of a material type. Step number 1, here it was the name, creation of a material type. That was the name, creation of a material type. Creation of a material type. For this, the menu path is, that means for creation of the material types, the menu path will be like this. That is for SPRGO, IMG, logistics general, and as well as material master, basic settings, material types, under that define attributes of material types. And the transaction code for this one is called as an OMS2. Let's see here. SPRGO, PRO, SAP reference IMG, SPRGO, SAP IMG, and the material logistics general. Here, SPRGO, IMG, logistics general. From here, logistics general, material master, basic settings, maintain material types, and as well as different attributes of material types. Here already we are having a lot of the material types as which we discussed. As like as here also there was a number of the material types will be there, but for making of a purchase I need to make the ROH. The ROH is there already. ROH is called as a raw material. So I have taken this ROH and I'm copying this. And I'm making it as an MOH. So which I am saying that the raw material for man 1, as which we discussed, which we are working for the client of the mankind. For this mankind, I have taken this, so on, so on, so on. And as well as in this user dependent screen, most of the time, which one is required for yours? In this user dependent screens, we need to select the required views which we are creating, which we are requiring when creation of a material master. So here in the description and as well as the department screen, select the required views. Whatever the views you want, you can take it. And as well as if this material will be allowed for the purchase orders or not. If you can open here, see, here it will be shows that 2. In general, it will be shows that 2. That means when we want to make a purchase of this raw material, the purchase orders will be allowed. That means by using this material type, we can make the purchase orders. That's what we want to say here. The 2. And as well as external purchase order and internal purchase order, which we have seen the external purchase order. That means we can make the purchase from the external sources will be allowed. Internal purchase orders within the company, is it allowed or not? If you don't want, you can make it as a 0. And if you want that, make it as an internal purchase orders also allowed. But I don't want. Generally, I don't want this one. And just make it press enter, enter, enter. and save. Even you want to check it one more here, whatever we have taken the material type, is this material type will be having by this plant MANP by this valuation area, it has to be quantity update has to be applicable and as well as value update has to be. That means whenever we have made a purchase of the raw material or the type of the ROH, it has to be applicable. It has to be applicable of the quantity has to be updatable and as well as material also has to be updatable. This is the first thing which we have to do. And the next one, we need to create the number range for our material types. We need to create the number ranges for the material types. That means which we can call it as a name. The set number 2 for that creation of a number ranges for material types. In the same way, see, define number ranges for the material types. For this was the transaction code is an MMNR. Unipath will be the same. Unipath will be the same. This is the first step. And the second step is create number ranges for material type. Material type key. So you need to create the number ranges for the material types. For this, the transaction code which we have to use the MMNR. Because MMNR. Even we can use from here MMNR directly. Define number ranges for the materials and make it click on groups. Click on the number ranges for the groups. And now here there was a lot of the material types will be there. And even whatever we have created, that material type also is there. So you want to create a separate number range for your material type. Then just go for the group, insert, and just make it number ranges for material types for MAN1 and what will be the number. So which it was available from 1 to 999 and make it enter. See that things will be added here, the number range for the material and for this which type of the materials can be allowed. Which type of the materials can be allowed for this number range. See here, this was the number range which we have created, and from there we need to add our number range, our material type. Select it, assign. That means this is the number range which I want. Number range is for the material types of the one, and what I said that this number range can be applicable for my raw material types and make it simple. That means we have created our own number ranges for our own material type. Even you can see number ranges for the material types in one, it will accept the raw material number. This is the step number 2. The step number 1 will be called as a creation of the material types, and the step number 2 is creation of a number ranges for the material types. And now I want to create the material master. By using these two, I need to go for the creation of a material master. So for this material master creation, that means in the next part, creation of a material master, that was a MM01. From here, we have to go for the logistics, material management, material master, material management, material master, material, create general, immediately. Then here it is asking about the material. That means if you want to give the material number or anything by system itself, just leave it. Or else if you want to give some name for your material, just leave it. just leave this blank. The system automatically gives the number itself. If you can give it as a leave it as a blank. Or else if you want to give some name for your material, you can fill it. And from here, I don't want to give anything. And now, which type of the material you want to create here? Means which type of the industry it will be the. It will be the something around chemical industry, and the material type which I have already created. Raw material of MAN1. By this material type, I want to create the materials. Enter. Basic data 1. Purchasing. Purchase order text. Purchase order text. MRP 1. And as well as general plant data storage 1. And as well as accounting 1. So these are the views which I am in required. And just press enter. Now it asking that what is the plant? That means in which plant you want to create the material master. So this plant has been going to manufacture in the plant. That means we are making the purchasing from the plant to our plant of MANP. And it has to be maintained in the storage location of already in enterprise structure, which we have maintained the storage locations also. I think so that was an MAND. Enter. And see, the material number was 1. Material number was 1. Why? Because already we have created the material numbers which are required from 1 to so and so so on. And here I am giving the material number. I am giving the material name. Just like as a name. Raw material 1. And base unit of measure. What is the base unit of the measure in the sense of? Measures is nothing but like to make the calculation. How much of the stocks we are having. Whether it was measured by the units wise, kgs wise, or liters wise, or something whatever. As like as when you are having that material, how you can make the measures of this material. So here I am giving that as an each wise. I am making the measurement of the material into the each wise. And what is the material group you want? Even if you want to create the material groups also, we can create. So let's take the another session from here. Let us create the material groups. SPRGO, IMG, Logistics General. From here, the Logistics General, and as well as Material Master, settings for key fields, and as well as define material groups. And go for the new entries. I am creating my own MAN1, and which I am saying that raw material of MAN1 and make it same. See, that will be comes into here, which I created it. Find MAN1. We can create our own material type. And whatever the material which we are going to create now, is this material well we goes to the which division? This will be comes into the which division. So this will be comes into the division of what we have created already is MA and MB. I am saying that this raw material is related to the hardware. And after completion of this, is this material will be having the gross weight. How much of the gross weight it will be? So the gross weight which I am giving is 100. And the weight unit, you want to calculate this as kgs or half kgs or how it works. So I am giving here it was I want to pack it as grams. And as well as what is the net weight, including with the packing and everything is grams of the gross weight. And how much of the net weight if the product is consist there. And the net weight of the product which I am saying that it was let's take the 90 grams. And then enter.
So I have a doubt here.
Yeah, you can.
So that division you told, if the material is used for both division then?
Yes. If the material will be used for the both of the divisions, then we have to make the maintain common divisions. That means One raw material will be there. For example, raw material is some X. That raw material we are making the purchasing, but that raw material can be used for the multiple of the divisions, either by the X1 division or by the X2 division also. In that situation, what we are doing that we are making that material into common division. So after creation of the material, we will do that one. Not a problem. Okay.
Okay.
That is called as a common divisions. We will make that one also. No problem. Right. And when we are going to the purchasing, what would be the purchasing group? Even we didn't create our purchasing group. So let us go for the creation of a purchasing group from here. Logistics General. India. The Logistics General. Material Management. Purchasing. Purchasing. And then go for the create purchasing group. Create purchasing. Create purchasing. Select an place. What would be the purchasing group? Let's take it an MAN. MAN. What it was? Raw material purchasing group. Which I am saying that raw material purchasing group and sell it. And even if you can see here, the purchasing group will be completed. MAN. Yeah. Whatever the material which we are creating, that will be completed here. And as well as purchase order text. You can give the text for your purchase order, anything you can make it text. And the next we have to go for the MRP. This is the main thing here. What is the MRP in the sense of material requirement plan? That means whatever the material which you are going to take it, is this material will be required for yours or not? If it is required, how it was? If it was not required, how it should be. So that's what can be handled by the back end of the PP part. PP. What is exactly by the MRP in the sense of material requirement plan? How much of the material is required for hours for creation of this material? That's what we are MRP type. If you can open this, by default it will be shows the PD, but in the real time it will not show as an PD. Why? Because the PP people are creating the material requirement planning as in their names. PP people. So that PP people, whatever they have created, that everything comes together. And if you can press the enter, then it's asking out of the who is the controller. That means whatever the material has to be going to manufacture, that material can be handled or else can be maintained by who is the person. Even there is not a problem at all. Just open the button. Yes, I want to create the material master. Now you can check it out. Directly it will reach us to that particular menu path for yours. Directly to that menu path. Directly it will take to the menu path. See, for MRP controllers, define MRP controllers for the material requirement. And just make it same. That's it. Define MRP controllers. And then make it new entries. And as well as is what is the plan? The plan is MANP. And the MRP controller is an MANA. MAN, who is the person? Mr. Prashant is an MRP controller. And then make it same and come back at it. Just come back at it. Directly the person will become. This was an MRP controller. And you can press the enter, then it will be asking about the large size. See what exactly for the lot size in the sense of you are having the material. That means you are making the purchase of the raw material. Okay, fine. But how you can make that purchase of the raw material, either it is in the packs or in the cartons or in a order wise or how it was. That will be shown here as a number of the different types of the packing wise. But here, in generally, as per our requirement, the vendor has to be sent the stocks. Or else, when we are making the sales also, as per the user requirement, that means the customer requirement, we need to make the packing of that one. That's why the shipment is separate concept will be there, picking and packing will be there. That's what I am saying here, what it was, lot for order quantity. That's it. Depends upon the order quantity wise, it will be. And just press enter. Now it is asking about some of the things. Initially we don't require anything. And at last we have to go for the valuation class. But are you having any valuation class with yours? No. But we can create our own valuation classes. How to create the valuation classes? Let's say the valuation area is nothing but like in a planner, right? And the valuation class is nothing but like in a type of the material. For creation of the type of the material, from this, logistics general, material master, basic settings, material types, no, no, logistics in the materials management, valuation and account assignment, confirmation, account information without result, and then define valuation class. What exactly by the valuation class in the sense of nothing but again type of the material. The transaction code for this one is an OMSK. OMSK for creation of a valuation class. Here go for the valuation classes, and there are also multiple of the valuation classes will be which is already available. So which generally we are using the raw material that was in a 3000, the valuation class. And make it popping. And I am creating my own valuation class as an MANR, and which I am saying that it was in a raw material. Done and save. Even this raw material will be shown here. See, in the valuation class. And this was the raw material. For creation of valuation class, we need to go for the something like that. And as well as if you can come down here, it will be asking about the moving price and as well as the standard price. So here if you can see the price control, in this price control you can have the one is the standard price and the second one is the moving price. What is the difference in between of these two in the sense of standard price is nothing but like a fixed rate, and the moving price in the sense of on the day rate, on the day price. Most of the time it will be useful for the foreign trade and as well as the gold and all the other things. When you are using those of the things, we are using this. But in generally, first in the initial stage, I am not going for that one. Initial stage, I am going for the standard price. It means for the moving price and the standard price. I am making both of the prices are the same. And it asking about of the planned delivery time. Planned delivery time. And whenever you are saying that planned delivery time in the so whenever you are making the order to the vendor, it has to be comes into your place at how much of the time. So in general, which I am saying is it has to be combined with me with the 1 day. And the next it asking about of the scheduled margin fee. This is what we can call as a floating fee, or else which you can call as an SM key also we are calling this. If you can open this SM key, it will be directly reaches to the your SM schedule margin, but it can be done by the controlling part, or else as in a PP also. That's why you see MRP of floats. MRP float. This will be happens by like this. The scheduling and capacity parameters define floats and make it new entries. Then what is the plan? And the plant of MANP. And what is the master key? MAN1. And the first one is an opening period. So which I am saying that one. Floating before period in days of 1. Floating after days period in the days of 1. Releasing period 1. That means whenever I am getting the requirement of the stock, I need to make the immediately for the 1 day. I need to place the order to the 1 day. I need to receive the stocks in 1 day. And I want to manufacture it 1 day. That's what is called as a schedule master. And come back. Even if you are given that's one also, automatically it will be sales. Done, done, done. So the material number was 1 was created. Why? Because we have given the number range from 1 to something. That's why the material was created in that. The material was created in the product form. So even if you want to make the posting of the stocks for this raw material, that means we need to make the valuation of the stocks. Then what we have to do that we are already having the valuation class. But my client is asking that they are having the multiple of the valuation areas and as well as the multiple of the valuation classes, and those has to be related to the valuation of the FI part of the general ledger. That means what we said that whatever the material has been which we have been purchased, that material value has to be goes for the company code. That quantity has to be goes for the plan. First of all, we need to discuss about of the value. Whenever that value will be goes to the financials people, for that we need to make an assignment of the valuation classes like this: SPRO, IMG, material management, inventory management and physical inventory. Sorry. Valuation and account assignment, account determination, account determination without result, and already we have created the valuation area. Even you can check it out our valuation class area also. Valuation area is nothing but like a plan, and valuation group is nothing but like a combination of the plans, combination of the valuation area. See, our valuation area will be there itself, MENP. Even I'm having the MENP, MENQ, MENS, MEN or something. So all these things has to be comes under the valuation group of this one and make it simple. Area is nothing but like in a plan, and group is the combination of the plans, and the class is in a type of the material, and configure automatic history. How it has to be configured. That means whenever this material has been came to our controlling area of the main part, where it has to be. Let's go for the account assignment. Here we have to receive the stocks, or we have to make the stock positions with us. Then we need to use the BSX. Use down BSX. That's what we can call as an inventory cost. Just double click on this BSX by using by the OBYC. And what is the chart of account? I don't know. Why? Because I am not a financial person. Even being as a financial person, you can check it out also by using the OB62. Now you can check it out. For the client company code of MAN1, we are having the chart of account form. INT. That means in this BSX, I am by the chart of accounts of INT, by the chart of accounts of INT, and in the rules of valuation class wise, and in the account has to be postable, has to be postable. Which one? Our valuation class. What is our valuation class which we have read? It is MANR. If it was done by this MANR, that means raw material, that has to be shown, that material value has to be shown in the company code and in the ledger of, in the ZL of. Even if you don't have the general ledger, simply what will be there? They will send the request to the financial people. Then the financial people will be creating the general ledger. Even if you know the finance also, you want to create the ledger also, directly go for the general ledger creation using by the FS00, using by the FS00. For the company code of MAN1. See here, there was a lot of the accounts will be there. This can be created by the financial people. We don't want. And if the material ledger will be there or not. So there was a lot of the material ledgers will be there. So let's take some gap here. Even this one also. There was a lot of the material ledgers will be there. Even if you want to create the material ledgers from here, just open the middle management account and make it, check it out here. Let's say some of the materials will be there here. I'm making here from 300 001. 300 It was not there. See, 300 001 for the company code of MAN1, and it will be coming to the middle management accounts. In the middle management accounts, it will be shown as a balance sheet. That means whatever the material which we are having, that was an asset for us. That's why directly go for the what is the material. I am giving the material here as an raw material. Otherwise, inventory raw material, that will be the better. Inventory raw material. But this can be done by the all the financial people. We don't require this one. If you want, you can. Itemize the display is required, and the sort key is required for this, sorting to the material by the posting device. And in the create bank interest, all the materials can be shown with the field status group of G003, sorry, G006 material account. And one more important thing is post automatically only. That means this ledger cannot be postable directly. It has to be postable when the stock entry has been done. It has to be applicable. Just make it same. So now my ledger was ready, and that my ledger was 300,001. That was my material. That was my ledger. And now I am trying to assign that one 300,001 and make it same. Done. This is what we can call as a valuation and account assignment with the costing. That means I am having the material types and as well as the configure material, and I have made the configuration of the material also. And after that, I have created the raw material, and in that MRP controller and the schedule margin key, and also the valuation key, valuation class, valuation area will be there, valuation group, valuation class, And for that valuation class, how the material will be stored and which ledger the material has to be managed. The which ledger that has to be managed. In general, the basic material settings will be like this.